Morning, buenos dias. Technically, it's still morning. It's 10:15, but the sun is pretty high. My hot mess yard is looking kind of beautiful this morning. This bed here is really packed, and I think that's why it looks so good. So this mum, I planted last year in this pot, and it came back for me. The bees are everywhere. They're super happy. We're supposed to get a deep freeze tonight, so I think they know that. And so they're all over everything, especially that salvia there. We have here these beautiful geraniums. I'm planting these again next year. These do great. They actually like the cold weather. Yep. And I'm planning to put in some of those red and white tulips in this area. The beauty trend tulips right underneath where the geraniums are now. And here is that onyx and pearls penstemon I planted. Looking fabulous. Can't wait for it to show off next year. So that whole look right there looks beautiful. Look how nice. Yep, the sun is super high. So that's Silver Mound Artemisia. They were little babies that I transplanted and they look great. Some heuchera and my gold mop cypress need a little trim. The Senecio did good most of the year. It's sort of dying back now. The Celosia didn't do great this year for me, just some of them. And this is the Proven Winners Verbena. I forget what it's called. It dies. It doesn't really like the sun. I planted this, and this is full sun, and it died and came back 2 or 3 times. However, and it needs lots of water. However, in another section, which I'll show you soon, I can go there now. In this pot, they did really good. And these pots are sort of getting a little sad. A lot of this stuff has to be taken out. Now, this coleus did magnificently, as you can tell. And this celosia didn't do bad either. Have some pansies that need to go in that pot. And I planted a couple of petunias in here underneath. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Start putting the garden to bed before winter. Yeah, so on this side, I think that I watered these pots too much. That's why these boxwoods are so yellow, because every time I touch down here, it's moist. So I'm gonna stop watering them. The bees are going nuts. All the pollinators are going nuts right now. Moths and bees. So this is the Austin roses. Steve Austin, I think that's what they're called. This is the Lady Gardner rose, and I cleaned up the area around it so it could have some breathability. But I cut it back. Has some black spot, but it also has some buds. Crazy. October 26th, and it has buds. I have to cut back these junipers. Same thing. This mop head needs a trim. I planted this red dianthus here in this little corner. It's doing good. Nothing was really surviving that corner, but that's doing pretty well. I mean, all my plants need water. We have drought here in New Jersey, so I've been watering sparingly. And since it's the end of the year and end of the season, I'm not really going that crazy. These are dry, bone dry. I need some water. These survived, but I had the same plantings in this one here, and they died. I have no idea what the difference is. Same kind of pot, same watering schedule. Don't know what happened. Some potatoes stayed behind, and you can see in there, my shadow's in the way. There are potatoes that grew all by themselves, and I'll leave them there for a little while longer. I'll pull them out later. Let me go on this side. I never come on this side. My coral bark maple is beautiful. Last week it was marvelous. Last week was on fire. Yep. And this, I'm going to be working on this bed next year, next season. I haven't decided yet. Might put some of the daffodils in here. Yeah, sort of just throw stuff in here, and I gotta get this organized. This is a coral knockout rose. It's doing really good, but it's growing up against this fence. I'm not sure I'm gonna let it continue growing up the fence. It doesn't look like it's bothered by it, or if I should pull it away to give it a little bit more circulation. I have my little boxwood village over there with one fire chief arborvitae. They all need to be trimmed. This is, I think this is the Roseanne geranium, hardy geranium. Yeah, I gotta work on this. Storm cloud, Artemisia. Is that it, Artemisia? Huh. Yeah, this storm cloud, that proven winners has blue blooms. This I have to cut back. Has little seeds. Now, I planted anemones. These are the proven winners. They're pink. Anemones in different parts of my yard to see where they do best. This area here, for some reason, maybe something's up with the soil, but things don't grow well here. And I've tried all different type of plants in this little spot, and nothing works well. I tried these because supposedly they're not picky about soil, and I don't know if it's just the time of the season, but they don't look great. Obsession andina. Kaleidoscopobelia, just purchased this year. I just planted it. I'm hoping it'll make it through the winter. And then I planted some roses and some hydrangeas in this border here, just sort of experimentally. I have clay soil and really bad soil back here. So this is very experimental. The daffodils do fine and the irises do fine, but I don't know if these hydrangeas will do fine. This is the Firelight Tidbit, and here it's in a little bit more sun than further down on the same bed. So I'm going to see which one, how well it does. Another Obsession andina. And then I planted this Rise Up Embrace Rose from Proven Winners. I need to get another one of these trellises. I have one in the front yard. I'm going to have to move over here. So this one also gets a little bit more sun. And like I said, this is clay soil. I amended the soil with lots of compost, but this area is really dry and doesn't necessarily always drain well. So let me see how these do. My irises did terrible. They did terrible this year, but for some reason these are coming up. They did so badly. I'm gonna cut these back. Look at this. October 26th. They don't know what's going on. These plants, it's like when you get jet lag and you go to some place with a time difference and you don't know if it's morning or night. You don't know if you're coming, growing. I think that's what's going on with these plants with this crazy weather. Look at that. They're blooming now. They didn't bloom all season for me. They're blooming now. This is another Rise Up Embrace Rose. This one's a little bit more shade. This probably will do better. And for some reason, the soil over there is more clayish or whatever. And as you move down here, it's a little bit better soil and retains water a little bit more. I don't know. It probably has something to do with stuff that went on before. And this also gets a lot more shade, even though it's still a full sun. You see this, it's 10 o'clock and right now it's in sort of shade, but come the afternoon, 2, 3, this is going to be full sun. So these are my emerald green arborvitaes. They might be soaking up a lot of the moisture from the soil, as well as my neighbor's shrubs. This I have to always cut back. This is a weed. This is called American pokeweed. It's actually pretty, but it's all over the place, and it's a native. That is a butterfly bush, big one. And Rose of Sharon, and I'm always pulling stuff. The butterfly bush, it doesn't spread as much as the Rose of Sharon. All right. So, yeah. So just as a reminder to myself, I'm planning to plant some more tulips and daffodils in this area. The tulips are going to be difficult because they're far away from the house. I can't shoo away the rabbits. Might have to keep the daffodils closer to the house. More Obsession Nandina. These are my old-fashioned hydrangeas, which I have to take out of here. I'm going to put them over there. I bought a hardy hibiscus that I'm planting here, and it hasn't arrived yet. And this area is really weedy, but what I do, this is columbine that self-seeds and milkweed. So I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to put a lot of daffodil bulbs in this area. It's an old lilac. I planted this here because supposedly it gets a lot of water. There's that flag, whatever. It's doing okay. I don't know. Let's see if it survives. Planted that this year. And here around the hostas, I'm also going to put a bunch of daffodils. I transplanted this Invincible Ruby hydrangea from the front yard. I cut it back hard and transplanted. I don't know if it's going to do well. I got some heuchera here. They look similar, but they're different. One of them is that monster something or the other, mahogany monster, and the other one, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I have to cut back these hostas, and this is a pine, very large, huge pine, and so I'm not going to plant the daffodils back there. They don't get enough sun, but I can plant it in the border here. And I bought this macrophylla hydrangea. Now I think I planted it too far up from the ground. It sort of moves. I'm going to throw some more compost on it. But I did that because I'm afraid of it drowning, like planting it too low, because I do have clay soil. But this is how it came, this size. I just left it like this. It already has buds. And so I don't want to mess around. I'm just leaving this here for the winter, like for winter protection, and then come spring I'll probably nip off these from here, the blooms. So this bed is the one that I planned this year, and it's mostly in shade all day. It gets some sun, but and it looks like nothing right now, but eventually it'll grow in and look really pretty. I have a snowflake oak leaf hydrangea. This gets 10 feet tall and wide. So let's see. It already has a nice color. Invincible limetta got chopped up, so I had to have it like double covered with, protected from all the little vermin. Whoever's chomping on these. I got a little quickfire hydrangea. These are the Southern Living Gold Touch hollies. And these get sun most of the day. But you know, with these little hollies, they like shade too. They don't like to be in full sun all day. They need some protection, at least here in New Jersey. Jane Magnolia. So she should get pretty big. We have another Gold Touch holly and another reblooming azalea, Encore. Azalea, Autumn Sunset. So I might do tulips or daffodils in this area as well. I probably should do just daffodils. Tulips, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And this is a Pinky Winky, a baby Pinky Winky. This will get 8 feet tall. And an incredible hydrangea, which gets 4 to 5 feet tall. And here we have an Arctic Rose Camellia. This gets 8 feet tall. And it already has its little bloom. There's little buds. Look at the little buds. You see them all over? Can't wait. So that's this bed that I planted up this year. Over here is my nursery, for lack of a better. I gotta cut back. These peppers are done. Some plants that still want to go on the ground. I rescued these from Lowe's. These are butterscotch baby spirea. I'm gonna cut them back and plant them somewhere. Tomatoes gotta go back. I had the last couple of tomatoes in my pocket. Yep, so these are sun gold tomatoes. All this has to be cut back. I got some strawberries going on in here. Now, let's talk about these dahlias. These dahlias decided to bloom late in the season, so now they're not looking that hot. I got two beautiful blooms. I'm going to save these tubers right in the... I'm not even going to dig them up. I'm just going to take the pots and I'm going to put them in there when it gets cold. This one doesn't look like it did too well. Here we got a flower. We got a flower. But yeah, they didn't do great. I got two not beautiful blooms from those dahlias. My first time growing dahlias in pots or in the ground anywhere. Like I used to buy them. And like already, you know, in a pot, and they always died on me. They got, you know, diseased and the bugs got to them. Let's turn around here. This is the back of that bed, and this blanket flower here. I got, look, there's like 3 bees on there. Look at the bees. They love this. I got this from the supermarket. I love this little flower. Planted some alliums here. These are the alliums that come up in the summer. This is my dogwood, white flowering dogwood. And I'm probably going to move it out of here eventually. Again, I got to cut back this humongous juniper. Look how big it is. And when I got this juniper, it was a little baby. And now it grew to this big, big monster. I love it though. I'm not gonna lie. If I had more space, I wouldn't mind it at all. These are some Flirt Nandina. This is some variegated lavender that for some reason it only does well when it's colder weather. It doesn't like the heat as much as other lavender. These petunias need to be thrown out. The celosia did celosia didn't do great. Yeah, so these are annual salvia. And I have tulip bulbs in here that came back for me 2 years in a row. I don't know if they're going to come back this year, so I'm not going to plant any more tulips here until I see what comes out, maybe next year. But I am going to plant tulip bulbs in the front of where the petunias are, where the celosia is, and where the geraniums are. I'm going to plant some tulips there. Yeah. So yeah, this is the backyard. All the work that needs to be done back here is crazy. I need to clean up that mess there. That's always messy there because I don't give it any time. I only clean it up when people come over. This girl's doing all right. This is my Korean Spice Viburnum. I've moved her. This is the 3rd time I moved this. This is a Moon Harvest. Japanese maple. This is the 3rd time I move her. I thought she got more shade here. She'd be good. I don't know. I think she needs a lot more shade. These maples like more shade or lots of water. This bed is doing this is super packed. This bed here. So I never have an issue with this. I just sort of have to look how huge the Obsession Nandina can get. That's an Obsession Nandina. I mean, there's hellebores in there. There's ferns. It is all shade and doing fantastic. I just have to trim all that up. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to take these. This is Jacob's Ladder. Taking it out of the pot and putting it in the ground. That's a Bloomstruck. There's another camellia. Stilby. Oh, I put these in too. Look, a mosquito. What's a mosquito doing? So I cut back this limelight hydrangea severely. This is a Weigelia planted this year. This is the other anemone. And it likes a little bit better here. It's more shady over here. And this is I want to say this is a cranberry. Something cranberry. We have cranberry and goji berry heuchera. There's a cranberry one. These are bulbul hydrangeas. And I don't know if I might plant some bulbs behind here too. The rabbits love to hide here, so it has to be daffodils. These are the goji berry. You see the leaf is a little curlier. So I planted a few heuchera, little bright heuchera, in this bed of emerald green arborvitae, and bulbul hydrangeas. These are transplants. I'm gonna put some of the anemones in here. The color's gonna look right underneath the. And put some anemones in here. Maybe some tulips too. These spirea need to be trimmed back. The spirea needs to be definitely taken care of. This was supposed to be Hamlin grasses, but I don't think they are. There's something else. Look at the fall vibes. Cryptomeria, barberry. That's the sedum. Autumn joy sedum. They're already drying out. This is full of pollinators. Most of the time. I planted this Atlas rose in the front yard. I don't know how it's gonna do here. We'll see. A lot of it is experimental. Luckily, I got them on sale. And I planted all the mums in the ground in this corner. I took out all the lambs here. And I was supposed to like repot it, never did. Look at this guy. He's ready for Halloween. I cut back the grass. That's this is, what is it called again? The blue one that looks like mums. Oh God, asters. That's an aster and that's an aster. I cut everything back. I deadheaded it. This is a morning glory, little morning glory. Oh, my little pots. I like all the whimsical stuff for Halloween because the kids love it. I decorate for the kids. My bats up on the trellis. Yeah, a lot of this stuff has to be aware of the little monsters. Yeah, so the red twig dogwood are losing their leaves. It's showing off its legs. There's a hive of yellow jackets in there, in that bird's nest fur, whatever it's called. But yeah, this is fall, y'all. These are asters that come back every year, and the rabbits don't let them grow. So this year I put these cloches over them, see what happens. There's still bees on, look at that bee on the cosmos. Let me see if I can zoom in on her. Look at that. And they're dying back. The bees are just enjoying whatever is left. That is a carpenter bee. That's the majority of the type of, I get very, the little tiny bees, the sweet bees, and I get carpenter bees, and I get regular bees. That's another carpenter bee there on the cosmos. They're just eating whatever they can. All of these shrubs and trees need to be trimmed. There's my Blue Point juniper. I'm gonna do that in the spring. Look, this cosmos is full. You have more bees in there. They're just feasting. They probably know there's a frost coming. The cosmos did really good. My other cosmos. And those are the regular bees. No, I think that's a yellow jacket. Yellow jacket's looking for bugs. On the sunshine ligustrum, which also needs to be trimmed back. This is ready to be taken down. This cosmos. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's time to take down the hardy hibiscus. It's time to cut her back. It's time to cut her back. Oh, I planted these variegated boxwoods next to the bench. I'm gonna put definitely putting some tulips in here. Definitely putting some tulips in here. See if I can guard them against the rabbits. Jazz Hands Loropetalum. I forget what this is called. This is from First Editions. This will get like 6 feet tall. It's like a chartreusey arborvitae. And those are some other ligustrum over there. But yeah, I have to take down these hardy hibiscus. Yep, yep, yep. There's some weird bugs on this my tree. My tree got a really. What happened was what happened was that some deer came and rubbed their horns on this tree, this little baby tree, and damaged it. So I've been trying to make sure it stays alive. I don't know if I'm going to be successful. And there's so many bugs on this tree too. Little ghosts. Ghosts like to stick onto the tree. Yeah. Oh, I planted some more stuff over here too. And this dianthus, I don't know what. No, this is phlox. I don't know. It might make it. Oh, there goes a big fat bee. It's upset that I'm getting close. There's two there. There's three. Oh my God. Look at that. Get my head out of the way. That's another penstemon I planted. That's the masquerade. And I did transplant the lamb's ear in there. This is my next project, one of my other projects. So I'm going to do all ground covers. I'm going to get rid of all this turf and do all ground covers here. I'm going to make a pathway here. And I planted a cotoneaster over here. Those are my 9 barks. I love my 9 barks. All right, there's a cotoneaster I planted here. And so basically, what I'm going for is a lot of evergreen ground cover, plus some annuals, native annuals. Let's see what's over here. You see, like, the lavender likes the sun. I mean, loves the sun and does well here. But I'm recording, my neighbor. I'm recording. We'll talk later. I'll tell you all about it. Like I said, my neighbors think I'm crazy. All right. I've said that before because I'm always with my phone recording. Look, so I planted a bunch of stuff here. Heucheras, boxwoods. I trimmed back this crazy juniper and the lavender. Oh, what I was saying about the lavender. The lavender, it likes the shade sometimes. That's all I'm saying. In New Jersey, anyway. This is some astilbe. This is some clematis. I gotta get another trellis for this. Some more boxwood, some more variegated boxwood, mugle pines. Oh, the deer damaged this too. This is my hinoki. The deer came and did that to it. You have to see the deer come through here. It's crazy because this is so suburban. And you have all these houses and then you get these huge animals with humongous antlers just walking around like they're going for a walk after dinner. Crazy. I get hawks. My ghosts are swinging in the wind. I get so many different animals. We definitely are encroaching in their territory. That's probably why we're getting all these animals. My other guy here. I gotta trim back all this spirea. So I like to have my Halloween decorations are low for the kitties, so they can see them. Like I said, I decorate for the kitties, not for the grown-ups. I planted, this is the coral, the light colored sedum. And this is a lantana. And I planted some lantana around, just like I did the anemones, to see where it does, if it comes back for me. These are other. Yeah, the bees are still all over this section. Holy moly. Yeah, they're all over this section here. That's more cosmos. And this guy needs to stand up. Okay. His face doesn't show. He's missing a pom-pom. He's missing a pom-pom. Okay. So let me go around this way. Yeah. Little crepe myrtle. My grasses. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? What? I just can't get over how beautiful these grasses. And I gotta cut them back soon, but not yet. I cut them back I might cut them back in the spring. Yep, I think I'm gonna cut them back in the spring. I think this is one of the big surprises that I really love, is that I planted these not knowing what it was going to look like in the middle here between my driveway, my neighbor's driveway, and I'm pleasantly surprised. There's some green-eyed Susans. I'm going to plant something else there. These don't come back. These are annuals. So where the Invincible Ruby was, the Invincible Ruby was here. I planted an Oh So Easy Italian ice rose from Proven Winners. And I had 2 drift roses here that I took out because they were diseased. They had rose rosette, and I covered everything with, I dug all the way down to the roots and covered it with compost and with pine bark mulch. And there's a couple clematis there. This one I have to take down. That's Coreopsis. And so I have 2 other roses. I'm gonna wait till the spring. I'm gonna keep them in their pots. I'm gonna wait till the spring to plant them, to give this soil, or to whatever virus is in the soil from the rose rosette, give it a chance to die and see how they do. They're supposed to be disease resistant, but I'm going to plant them not right in the front like I had the other ones. Like the drift roses were in the front, they would come over. I'm going to plant them towards the back where the clematis is, so the clematis and the rose can grow up the trellis together. And I got this. I cut this back last year. I'm going to cut some more of this hosta and take it out of here. And I planted another limelight. I got to cut that limelight back. That is a peony, beautiful peony. And so here I'm going to work on this as well. Put some of the hostas on this side. Take out those nasty looking lamb's ear. Lamb's ear can get like a little nasty, you know? And so let me go back this way. Let me see if I can open it. Come on. There we go. We're back to square one. So yeah. So it's not the beautiful garden tour as usual. One day it will be. One day all these garden beds will be filled to the brim. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to record. And everybody's going to be like, ooh, ah. And you know, let me just make a comment. This comment is for myself as much as for whoever is watching. So I love the turns and stuff, and most gardens that I see like online have these beautiful, like, so you can sort of they're like little pulls you in, these pathways that pull you in so you can see what's happening on the other end, and they're beautiful, and I did not plan these beds properly because I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm going to leave this way. I don't think I'm going to create any more curves to hide areas, because I really got rid of a lot of the lawn. This whole thing was lawn before I put the pavers down. And so if I ever sell this house, I think not everybody likes the garden. Not everybody likes all the work that comes with, with gardening. And so I think that they would enjoy if I decide to sell the house like 5-10 years from now, and they'd like some lawn, especially if they have children or dogs, have some lawn to play in. And I don't know how many of these plants they're going to keep. They're probably going to take down my garden beds. Their space, if they wanted to put a pool, they could. If they wanted to remove my fire pit, they could. So it gives people, if they buy this house, options. That if I just, and it's less work for me too, because I'm not going to continue working on this, on these garden beds if one day I'm planning to move. Now, the only thing, the major reason I'd be very sad if I ever move out of this house is that I love my plants. And I handpicked all of these, and I have like a relationship with them. And I know I'm not going to be able to take my trees with me. And I don't know where I'd move. I might move to Puerto Rico to be with my parents. So, these plants don't go to Puerto Rico. They don't live in Puerto Rico. That's like zone 13 and 14. It'd be a whole other Garden State Chica in Puerto Rico. So anyway, so for now I'm enjoying everything and the learning process. I signed up for the Master Gardener program at Rutgers University. I'm so excited. I started in January if everything goes well. And so I'm going to learn so much more about soil and plants, and I can volunteer once I get all that knowledge to share with other people and help them with their gardens. And I think that's very satisfying. So look how beautiful this, all the fall foliage on the tree and on the Kaleidoscopobelia, and even the storm cloud Artemisia, the Obsession andina, and the evergreen humongous junipers of mine, and even this emerald green arborvitae. That's a beautiful view, isn't it? So I'm gonna get to work planting bulbs. See you later. Hasta luego.